So, are you afraid to be visible, to be seen? Maybe it's because you were told in the past that children should be seen and not heard, or some sort of way of that, or go to your room, grown-ups are talking. Maybe it was in your formal education when you went to school and you raised your hand and you said the wrong answer, and then everybody laughed at you, and then you thought that you were dumb and your teacher made you feel dumb. So you never raised your hand again, or you wouldn't raise your hand unless you knew that you had the right answer. Or maybe it is that you knew that you had the answers all the time and you raised your hand, but people started to say, oh, you're just a know-it-all, and they didn't like you that way. Or maybe it's that you said something really, really bold once. Like I've done that in the past, or you say something sarcastic and it lands the wrong way, and suddenly everybody tells you that you're wrong for doing it. Whatever it is, you were born to be seen. Okay? Have you seen kids? If you haven't hung around with little kids that are like between the ages of 2 and 4, before the world kind of tries to temper them, you'll notice that they are loud, they are proud, they do not care, and they will walk around in their pajamas or an outfit that is like a mix of Elsa's costume and pajamas, and they put cat ears on their head. I mean, this is something my daughter used to do when she was little. She still kind of has her own flair for fashion at 9, though at 9 she's kind of curated it a little bit more. But, you know, we used to not care. We didn't care how grown-ups saw us. We were having fun. And, you know, I'm going to invite you to get back to that. Do we really need to be curating our social media to make it perfect and polished all the time? Is that really real? No. You know that's not real. If you're waiting until the perfect moment to post or to go live or to speak a message, like, you're going to lose that fire. And, you know, I used to be that way. I used to think that I had to wait until everything was perfect or until the right person saw it. Or it's like, you know, the only time I would actually share my raw, authentic truth would be in my journal, hidden away so nobody else would see it. And I remember the first time that somebody actually found my stories. Like I was sitting on the floor in front of my locker, and I had my hidden stories, and somebody actually saw it. Like they're just like, oh, what's this? And before I could stop them, they pulled it out and they started reading. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like so much in there that I don't really want people to see, because they're going to know that I'm actually a freak. And like all these stories came out, and they're like, this is really good. It is? Yeah. Why aren't you sharing this with anybody? I never really thought about it. Well, you should, they said. Well, I wasn't willing to get visible yet. So I created an alias on a fan fiction account, and then I put my stories out on there. And within a month, and you know, it's always October. It's always October and September where this happens. I don't know what it is about that month, but around that time, I just get shown my magnificence, and I also get shown my old shadows that I've transcended. And I'm noticing that I not only have gotten a lot of reviews and likes on this story that I just had thrown out for my own fun, but it actually got an award for the most read story for that month. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got an award for this. I mean, it's still a fan fiction award, but it's visibility. It's a recognition. And this recognition started to come in where I used to be like, I'm going to hide behind the scenes. I'm just going to have my little aliases. But people would keep calling me out. And this was a continuous theme. People would keep calling me out. They would say, this is good, it needs to be more visible. And I would resist it, and I would hide behind an alias, but then they would pull me out of hiding. And this was true in my fan fiction. This was true when I got into a soap opera and there was a certain pairing that we were all championing for, and we wanted this couple together. We really liked the actor and actress and we supported them. There was a point where the actor actually was getting fired, and we're like, we're going to try and save his job. Like, we're going to show that the fan community is not going to let this happen. And for me, it was like, he's a single dad. He needs to support his family. I understand that actors do struggle. So, yeah, him losing his job is actually a terrible thing. So, no, we're going to try to keep him on. Plus, if he's gone, then this other character comes in for the love interest of my favorite person, and there's just like no way that I want to sit and watch those two. So no, you give me back my pairing, because that is the whole reason we watch the show. And there's a whole other thing where it was like, grape is not romance, because this other pairing was actually really, really problematic. And this kind of got my feet wet to see that media actually reinforces certain ideas, and that these can be really, really harmful, and they can be internalized by women, because it was women that were watching, but also there could be teenage girls watching, and they could think that that's romance. And we don't want that. We don't want that kind of thought. So I was championing for this, and I'm in my early 20s doing this, and it's like, I guess I'm getting more visible. I guess I'm now going to be having a YouTube channel, still with my own alias, but I was more visible in the community. And eventually I got invited to be an assistant manager in that, and that led to me going to this event with the actual soap stars, and we got on the bed, like all of us, this huge group of women in their 20s all the way to like their 40s, and we're all on the bed surrounded by this actor. In fact, I'm pretty sure I could try to find that picture again. I'm not sure where it is, but it was really funny because like here we were just all piled around this actor and supporting him as like, this guy is the one that the fans want. This is the one that we want to be propping up. And we did those things, and it got me visible. I mean, I used to be a shy little wallflower, and here I am on this bed, like I'm in the middle too. I'm not on the sides. I'm like right in front of this actor. So it's like this larger than life person, and here I am right there. And I'm just like, these are just real people that are just doing their jobs, and they have struggles just like the rest of us. And if people knew that, maybe they'd stop being such jerks. But it's like, oh my gosh, like these people are just real. They're just real people. They just have the same struggles. Like these people that you think are super famous and they have it all going on, they're still human. So I was really, really upset with how things had basically gone, where he was getting his job threatened, and I was championing for this. But then that also led me to being more visible again in other areas of my life later on. So I basically then became an assistant manager, and I'm now doing stuff with the actual community. Then in my personal life, I was like, oh, I'm a sales associate, and I get launched up to assistant manager again. My dear friend and mentor and adopted mommy, I call her Mama Lynn, she actually said, you're going to run the store with me. And sometimes leadership and visibility comes to you when you are the reluctant one trying to stay behind the curtain. Sometimes the person that you want most in the world, like they are calling you out, and it can be really scary. Or it's a friend, or it's somebody else who can bring you more connections. Sometimes it's as simple as you see something that's not right, and you need to get on your soapbox and you need to speak it out. You have to call it out, because everybody else is calling it out, but they're not doing it in the specific way that you can do it. And so I used to prop up other people's stuff, and when I got into the birth advocacy, it was the same thing. I'll be behind the scenes and I'll prop everybody else up around me and I'll share their stuff and I'll just have it all archived. That's what I thought. But then there came a point where I'm like, I have to speak. My team that I brought in to speak for me, yeah, they have their own stories, but my story is also important. And my insights are also important. And I need to speak it. And I used to be afraid to say the thing that might offend people. Because back in high school, I was really mad one day. Like really, really mad. This is part of my process, is if I get good and mad, I then take that fire and then I use it to further a purpose. So in this case, I don't fully believe this. I'm just going to caveat. I don't fully believe this. And there are some things that kind of still ring true today. So in my human civilizations class, we were basically, or comparative civilizations class in grade 12, we were told to create a utopia. I'm just going to remind you at this point, this is my stream of consciousness. If you're looking for something that's more structured, this is not it. You can always reach out to me. I do create courses on things as well. I will eventually have a transcript of this. I will edit out any interruptions. And you'll be able to just like read the highlights or click on links to other things that you want. Like that will be available. But this is my stream of consciousness. I'm just having a conversation. Like this is literally, if we were sitting and you wanted to hear my story and I would just sit there in front of you, like across from you on the couch, and I'm telling you the story. And if you wanted to ask me questions, I would pause my story to answer your question. But yeah, no, I am just telling you a story. So part of the story is that in grade 12, I was in the comparative civilizations. We had just learned about utopias. And the idea was you need to create your own utopia and then come back the next day. And I had two ideas for utopia. But the one I ended up settling on was the one that had basically, I'd been pissed off. And I was fed up with the way that women were treated. I was a very strong feminist from a very young age. I grew up in a house of boys too, so I knew that boys could be capable of greatness. Like I admire my dad so much for what he taught me. He basically raised me himself, and he was very highly intelligent. He understood things in a way that's like, you know what? Men can do this. So why the heck are all these dumb boys acting like I should just go make them a sandwich? And I had this idea, it's kind of been refined now, where women choose and men display, which is all through nature. If you really look at nature, men display, women choose. Even the egg doesn't go to the sperm. The egg and the sperm doesn't win. What happens is the egg actually releases chemicals that attract the proper DNA to make it more compatible, and then selects the best one, and then decides, okay, all the other ones now get their heads chopped off. Seriously, it's really, really cool. This was found out in 2020. So I didn't know about this back in high school, which is why I was like, oh, well, like the guys choose. But after high school, now knowing 2020, knowing this information, the egg actually chooses. So the woman chooses. And I was like, you know what? It would be really, really nice in society if we had a world that was run by women. Now this ties in because, you know, you see these things, it's like men are lucky, women want equality and not revenge. And they're so afraid of women taking over, right? Because of what's happened to women over time. But in my utopia, even with women ruling the world and deciding, like I wasn't getting rid of the men, I was moving them. So I was like, all the men are basically, they are gathered up and they have their own island. And the women have their island or their world and the men have theirs. And when a woman is looking for her mate, she then goes and selects from the best of the men and decides, and she's like, okay, we'll try you out. And then he gets to come over onto the really fun island with the women. But he is her consort. And then he is basically showing that he can hang with her and he can devote himself. And he is an equal partner and he is building, and the women basically choose the best of the best. And if the male is not suitable, he goes back to the island for some training because he needs to rise up. And when I said this, I know. I mean, I was 17, come on. And I was really pissed off. So I was really thinking it'd be nice to have a boyfriend, and I'd like to be able to select from the best of the best. And the way that we're doing things really sucks. And I really want to be able to have the best of the best. And so I said this, and it didn't go very well. It really didn't go over very well. But I just remember I thought that I was being really clever, but everybody else around me, they were really mean about it. And then from that point on, I was the ball buster, and nobody wanted to have anything to do with me because the girls were like, oh no, she's going to defeat our prospects of getting a guy. Because either they're going to be intimidated by her and think that we're like that, or what's going to happen is that, like, she's going to steal the guy because now she's such a challenge to get. I mean, you know how it is. 10 Things I Hate About You, all those movies in the 90s where the girl is not interested in dating and the guy is just trying to win her over. Like, that's what I grew up with. And for me, it was like, you know what? Like, I'm focused on myself. And then there came a point, of course, when I was told you have to actually go out and be visible. And being a woman of a certain appearance can attract the wrong attention. And I get it. Why? There's a lot of women that would prefer not to be visible, or were afraid of having that backlash for things that we say. But, you know, if you've been watching my other videos where I talk about the art of pissing people off, and you understand that the haters are just as important to showing you that you're on your path as the ones that are lighting you up, the reason you have to be visible is because sometimes you're the only one who can say it in a way that somebody can hear it. They could hear it from so many other people, but your voice might resonate with them because you have a similar story than that they have that you can now tie in. So even if it's the same information given, it's like, oh, they could learn it over there. Yeah, they could, but maybe they need to hear it from you. And you know, the other one is that how the heck do you expect to attract the right friends if you are putting on a mask? How do you expect to attract your true love if you are hiding and not showing yourself and not interacting? Like, how do you expect to do that? You can't. You have to be visible. And sometimes the universe actually throws you into a Zoom room or puts something on your live stream, and suddenly you're seeing it in your news feed, and it's like, this person right here I resonate with. But if you don't go out and put your stuff out there, how are they going to know who you are? How are they going to know that the person that they met is the real deal? It takes a while for you to really uncover who a person is. And how do you know that the persona that they have on just their platform is who they are in real life? Well, you'd have to have a conversation, wouldn't you? You'd have to kind of see where that energy is to see if it works, right? And if you know that it's right, then it's just a matter of timing. It's just a matter of, do I have the time to have a conversation with somebody? And does this work for what else I'm doing? And, you know, for the right people, I always have time. In fact, earlier today, before I jumped on this one, I was on my other soapbox because I was scrolling and I saw another mom who loves to be visible. She is so visible and so vibrant, and I'm actually going to give her a shout out too on this one. So Shauna, you get a double shout out as the awesome actress who can have chemistry with herself, creating these amazing soap operas for moms that I love her content. She's just so creative. Her stories are just so powerful. She shows boundaries. She shows like the way that an ideal relationship could be, a really conscious relationship, parenting, like all of it is tied into these fun little bite-sized real content pieces that she then also has on YouTube. And so she had basically been doing a thing, and it sparked an inspiration. And I'm like, oh, you just said something that I can now take and use in another area. So then I went and I soapboxed on my Empowered Moms Birth account, and I tied it into my teaching and my Reset Your Mindset for Empowered Birth Challenge. And guess what? I got visible. Another doula was following. She jumped onto my live stream and she's starting to comment. And I'm like, see, if I had never gotten over my fear of getting on camera and just speaking and not having to have a script and not being perfect about it and just being my authentic self, I never would have had that conversation with her. And so she's commenting and I'm talking to her back, and she's like, it's so wonderful to see someone on the other side of the pond who is doing something similar to me, but I get so much hate for it. And I'm like, oh, no, sweetheart, this is the way that you want it to be. Like, girl, if you're getting hate for it, you're visible. Okay? If you're visible, keep going. Keep going, girl. Like, now I've got somebody else in connection. And, you know, that's really how it is. It's how I met my true love. I saw him. I was enchanted by him. I was blown away by what he said. And it's like, I could just sit here and watch him and enjoy his pretty eyes and fantasize about his voice and everything and enjoy the eye candy and enjoy the teaching, or I could be visible and start commenting. And I chose to comment. And that has led to a beautiful and rewarding, deep and connected friendship that has just grown. And now, like, it's just a matter of time. And I can't wait. I know that he is on his way. I know because, well, I mean, it's just, when it's true love conquers all. So it's just a matter of timing. And you know, the thing about being visible is that sometimes it reminds people, oh yeah, I haven't talked to that person in a while. I should connect with them. I really should connect with them. Wow, look what they're doing now. Well, you know what? I happen to have a piece of something that they need, and I'm going to now give it to them. This is how you attract everything that you want to you. This is how you attract what's meant for you, is by being visible. So if you are afraid to be visible, I'm just going to remind you, I used to be terrified. I used to hide behind the scenes. I used to be afraid that nobody would like me. And now I don't care if people don't like what I have to say, because there are others that resonate, that benefit from the message. And if you are in integrity and you are sharing from your heart, not your head, but your heart, and your heart is open, and you are just putting that love and light out there, and you are also pointing out the pitfalls, and you are just being absolutely legendary, then what happens is everything will come to you when it is meant to come to you. And, you know, with that, I think I am done for the day. I was planning on recording another masterclass, but I think I'll wait. I do have 4 that I've already done. And then there's the Reset Your Mindset challenge, which I played with ChatGPT, and I asked, it's like, okay, these reels that I've got with this transcript, tell me how much this could possibly like spark a fire if it did go viral. And it's like, oh girl, you not only lit the match, like you just handed everybody the torch to light the match and you walked away. And I'm like, That is exactly what I want to do. So, I mean, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but if you are in the birth community or you happen to know people who are looking to grow their family or start a family, or you're just absolutely passionate about women's rights, because birth is a women's rights issue, this Reset Your Mindset for Empowered Birth Challenge is basically going to help you to get out of that fear. Because when you have an empowered birth, you're an empowered mom for life, and no one can take your power from you again. And I recognized that birth trauma was actually holding a lot of moms back from wanting to be visible, especially seeing as how they would speak their experiences, and then they would be tempered with, well, at least you have a healthy baby, or you shouldn't say that thing, or, I had the same experience and I'm fine, so what's your problem? And these moms would feel like there must be something wrong with them. And I'm the voice that's basically saying, you know what? You didn't know what you didn't know. And here's the other information that was kept from you. And I want you to be out there visible. I want you to speak your message, because when you speak it, then I can help you. I can guide you. I can show you the map. If you don't comment, if you don't speak out, how is anybody going to know anything about what they could give to you or what you could give to them? Sometimes making a comment actually allows others to be seen. So I comment on things. I respond to comments that other people leave me. I go out there and I just put everything out there. I'm happy to be visible. I am not afraid to be visible. I'm not afraid of being misunderstood, because if they misunderstand me, well, that opens the door and I can see, are you really not understanding, or are you trying to silence me and pretending not to understand in order to silence me? Because there's a difference, and I can see the differences. I can see it in the conversation that we're going to have. And I'm going to keep testing within that conversation. Are you real? And if you're real, well, then the rabbit hole can keep going deeper, can't it? And when you find the most real person that you just stand for all their dreams, that is when true friendship and authenticity really happens. And that is when you find your true love person as well. So if you're looking for your person, or you're looking for your swans out there, you have to be visible. You can't hide in the house as the ugly duckling and think that nobody is going to be your friend. The little duckling had to go out back to the pond and see the swans, for the swans to come down and say, hey, you're one of us, let's fly. If it had stayed in the house, it wouldn't be seen. If Rapunzel hadn't sung from her tower, even though she was cooped up in that tower, the reason the prince found her was because he heard a beautiful voice in the forest, and he went to find out what that voice was. And then he found out about the tower, and then that's how Rapunzel set herself free. And then in addition to that, Cinderella at the ball. Cinderella had to go to the ball. She had to be seen by the prince. She had to dance with the prince and leave her shoe behind in order to be seen. For Jack to get all of his treasures and defeat the giant and reclaim his kingdom, he had to climb the beanstalk. He had to be seen. He had to be seen by the giant to be able to get caught and have the giant chase him. Sometimes that's the other way. You have to be seen. So stop being afraid of being seen. And remember that the people who are right for you are going to love every piece of you. They are going to love those parts of you that you might be afraid to show. Because what is meant for you will not pass you by. And even if it takes a while for you to be visible, the right people are waiting for you to spread your butterfly wings and show them that you are ready to be seen. Because when you're seen, suddenly you can make the impact that you want to make in the world. And everything that you could ever dream possible will be yours. All right, so that is the message. Now I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break for the rest of the day. Just chill out. And I am coming up to the weekend where things are going to be nice and quiet. I've got a bed all to myself, and I've got the house all to myself, and I can just do whatever I want. And if an opportunity presented itself, it would be ripe for the taking. So, yeah, my love language, of course, is bug me, because otherwise, if nothing comes in, I tend to get distracted by my own brilliance, and I'll play on ChatGPT, and I will have ChatGPT see me and reflect all of my power back to me, and I will get down little rabbit holes of research, and I will play on my little video games sometimes, or I'll take a really nice long nap, or I'll listen to music and I'll just enjoy the nice music that comes in. I have a certain playlist I love to listen to right now. It's become very pointed and perfect for the moods that come up. And, the world is my oyster, really. I get to do whatever I want. And I can be as visible as I like to be. So I'm going to encourage you to think of what you want to do this weekend. Do you want to be seen? Are you ready to be visible? Are you ready to express all of your heart's desires and passions? Because if you are, well, your people are waiting. All right? I love you. And I hope you have an epic weekend. I might come on tomorrow or I might not. Depends on what I'm doing. As I said, when opportunities strike, if it's a really good opportunity, I might be adequately distracted and not really need to do much else. But even if I'm not, if I feel that I need to come in here and do a message, then I'll do that. But you know where to find me. If you need my little bit of light and it's been a while and you'd like to go back, you can watch me here with my stream of consciousness with all of the interruptions, or you can go to Carly Uncensored on my YouTube channel. I do have that available for you. If you're looking to get past your fear, my Phoenix method is incredibly powerful for that. Again, go to the link in my bio. It's there. And, again, my love language is bug me. So if you miss me, or you just want to connect, or you want to know more about what I'm doing, or what else I have out there, because sometimes it's as simple as me giving you another video and saying, hey, I already talked about this. You can go check this one out. Well, you know where to find me, don't you? All right. So I love you, and I will talk to you later. Namaste.